The top 2025 breakout players. This is our main topic of the night, and there are a lot of ones to choose from because this is the most unproven Georgia team I can remember. Like, you could make an argument that Nate Frazier could break out onto like the national scene or something and go for like 1,400 yards or something. But I think we know Nate Frazier is the starter, had a solid season. We're looking for more guys that have been at Georgia, may not portal guys that we've seen, but guys that have been at Georgia just haven't really contributed yet. And this is the year that they make an impact on Georgia's team. So I don't know if you want to just go one by one or how you want to do it, or if you want to just start at the top of your list. But who are you going to start with?
I'll start with a guy on the defensive line, Jordan Hall, entering his junior season. Jordan Hall was, of course, a 5-star recruit in the 2023 signing class. Played a little bit freshman year. I mean, he was on the rotation a little bit, but you're just not going to get to play that much as a freshman on Georgia's defensive line generally. And then going into last season, he was expecting to have like more of a legitimate rotational role on the defensive line. And he has a stress fracture in his leg that, keeps him out for like a lot of fall, I think spring too. I don't remember when the first one happened. But then I say the first one because then he had another one, like right when the season was about to start, in his other leg. So just like a brutal injury situation for him. And yeah, like he's insanely talented. It's a position group that is pretty thin right now. Has 2 key players moving on in Nazir Stackhouse and Warren Brinson. So I just think there's a very clear path to him becoming a big-time player on the defensive line. It's like they have Christian Miller in the middle, but then it's like they need another guy,
Yeah, I'm kind of
on the team. Sorry.
We got Ned Underwood.
Nashua Tuttle is a breakout guy, but he plays for Purdue now, so
that's true. He's not going to break out. How about Jeremy Bell, the walk-on, apparently the best basketball player on Georgia's team? I would be surprised. I mean, so many people have talked about him. I'd be surprised if he cracked this rotation just because we're talking like 6 deep right now at the receiver position. We'll just going off Ned's point here. If I'm picking a receiver to break out, obviously we're going to cancel out Dylan Bell and Zachariah Branch and Noah Thomas and Colby Young. After that, like London Humphrey is a guy who still hasn't broken out.
That would be
Sokovie White, I think, is a guy who hasn't and he's just a second-year guy, right? Sokovie White is a true freshman last year.
I think he might be a redshirt sophomore this year.
Okay, so like I would probably pick one of them ahead of a guy like Jeremy Bell, because then you also talk about some of these freshmen like CJ Wiley and Taylon Taylor were the big-time recruits. Yeah. But what's his name? Thomas Blackshear is a guy who's getting some buzz with what he's done in practice. So if a walk-on like Jeremy Bell was able to, and maybe he's gotten a scholarship since they went to 105 scholarships, I don't know. But I'd be surprised if he was a guy who cracked the lineup this year.
Well, also, like a true freshman can't be a breakout player because, like, what are you breaking out from?
Oh, is he a true freshman?
I'm pretty sure he was. He is, right?
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure he's a true freshman. So it's like, you can't break out, man. You were in high school last year.
That's fair. But staying on your point on the defensive line, I think that's where we just have to have a breakout guy. Mm-hmm. And you went 2020 to the 2023 class. So this Jordan Hall's, this is going to be his 4th year
it'll be
on campus. But yeah, 4th year in the program. I'm going with Joseph Jonah Janye from the 2024 class. So he's in, maybe it's just because I've been burned by Jordan Hall because we were all like waiting for this guy.
Jordan Hall has not gotten a chance to play yet.
Of course. It's not his fault. Absolutely. It's been injuries. But it's like once a guy just keeps getting injured, then you're just kind of like, can I rely on him? And so he's entering his 4th year and he really hasn't played much. So Joseph Jonah Janye is a similar situation. Like injuries have held him back to this point, but that's just 1 year. The injury held him back in 2024. Going into 2nd year on campus, I think Joseph Jonah Janye. I don't know the way people talk about him. He's the defensive lineman I think that excites me most in terms of guys already on the roster, not guys not named Elijah Griffin because they can't say enough about Elijah Griffin.
Yeah, that is. I mean, I guess he is kind of a Jordan Hall type of situation where it's like 5-star guy with all the hype in the world who just seems to vanish into thin air the second he gets on campus.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we can, and we've done this. Like, we can sit here all day naming potential breakout guys on the defensive line because it's like you said, for their survival as a defense this year, they need someone to break out and to emerge. Like we have a pretty good idea of who Christian Miller is. We know he's going to be a very good player for them. But then it's like Elo Madozi transfer, Gabe Harris, guy who's been a backup, but, hasn't really been a starter yet. And then it's like a bunch of young guys. It's Quintavious Johnson. It's, Jonah Jonye. Like, we just don't know, man. But yeah, Joseph Jonah Jonye is, I mean, just a freak of nature. I think that's the thing you always hear people say about him is like the guy was just built in the lab. One of those guys Georgia always seems to get. So if he can stay healthy and get on the field, I mean, I think all those guys are going to get a chance to separate themselves from the pack, because they're just going to need someone to do it. So time will tell, man.
For sure. Staying on the defensive side of the ball, I think the easiest one that probably me and you would have, the first guy I wrote on my list at least is Chris Cole. I feel like Chris Cole, there's no one, and he's almost, I feel like he's talked about so much, he almost feels like he's already broken out. Like there's sometimes those guys that haven't started yet, but just everyone knows how good they are. It feels like he's the worst kept secret on Georgia's roster. Like I've heard Rusty Mansell talk about like, of the current roster Georgia has, like he's going to be like the highest drafted one. Like he is just an absolute freak. And maybe linebacker that could hurt him. Linebackers don't always get drafted highest, but
he doesn't have to be a linebacker.
That's true. He could be an edge rusher. I don't know what exactly Chris Cole is, but he's my number one player I'm most excited to see upgrade to a single digit as well.
Yeah, so that's major. That's a big deal. Chris Cole. Yeah, I am too. I honestly didn't even consider him to be a breakout candidate because it's like I wasn't even thinking about him as one just because it's like, yeah, we think he's gonna be so good. How can it be a breakout if he's gonna be this good? But I agree. I mean, it'll be really cool to see like. But also, I'm probably wrong in saying that because I'm sitting here acting like he has a whole season of starting tape under his belt when really the sample size is just much lower than that. It's just me being like, oh, wow, that was sick. This guy's going to be sick.
Yeah, you probably look at the stats. He probably played in like 12 games.
Yeah, his stats are probably not even that crazy from last year. If you just look at his box score numbers, and you'd be like, why are they hyping this guy up so much? But yeah, I can't wait.
14 games.
I can't wait just to see what they do with him, man. I mean, I feel like it's a little scary. You don't want to have a guy that's just like an NFL Isaiah Simmons where it's like, oh, he could play any position, but he's not that good at any of them. Like, so you don't want that. You don't want to go too far into the versatility bucket because it will just kind of screw you in the end. But man, if they can figure out a way to just deploy this guy and tell him go make plays, whether that's at off-ball linebacker or as an edge rusher or, like some weird combination of the two or something, some type of Jalen Walker role that, we saw that do that with him and then he won the Buckus Award. So, yeah, I'm really excited about Chris Cole. I expect it to be another year before they give him a Jalen Walker-esque workload for sure because Jalen Walker didn't get that until his junior year, and he was a guy who had way more tape than Chris Cole did. So, yeah, it'll be fun to watch Chris Cole for sure.
I think Jalen Walker was in a little more crowded position room. To be fair, I think I think it took a minute for Jalen Walker to get on the field. I think Georgia is going to need Chris Cole to get on the field year two. And maybe Justin Williams would be more of a breakout because he hardly played at all last year. Chris Cole kind of was in those third down packages, But yeah, I'm just really excited to see him. The other guy I wrote on defense, and maybe this is just me, being the stargazer, but we all want to see Ellis Robinson in the secondary, right? Number one for a reason, right?
Yeah. We talked about Ellis Robinson a pretty good bit last week too, so I won't regurgitate too much of what I said. But yeah, man, I mean, that is one of those guys who, I mean, he moves differently. There's something. I'm sure it's a lot of me just kind of making it up in my head that he's a superstar before I actually see it. But there's like the way that he got into the end of the game against. It was some game kind of really last year, and he had a play where he just followed the receiver stride for stride, track the ball, knock it down, and it was like, yeah, man, like that guy, he looks ready. And I get that he wasn't ready, and if he was, he would have played. But
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, how can you not want to see the number one, like one of the highest rated cornerback prospects of all time get on the field? The number 2 player in the country out of high school he was. I mean, I have a hard time believing that he will not get some sort of serious snaps this year somewhere.
Yeah, especially like with how good Jeremiah Smith was a year ago, and it's just high school stuff, but it's like that was like the talk coming out of like the opening was that like Ellis Robinson, Jeremiah Smith going at each other pretty much. So he obviously got the best of him at times. Jeremiah Smith, I'm sure, won some reps as well. And like we're talking about this guy like he's the greatest receiver the world has ever seen. And I'm not even saying he's overrated. He might be.
He might be the best receiver we've ever seen.
Yeah, he really might be. So Ellis Robinson, if he can go toe to toe with that guy, he's got to be good enough to get on the field for the Bulldogs.
Decent.
Is there anyone on offense that you think kind of hasn't broken out yet that you see breaking out in 2020?
Yeah. I mean, okay, well, the easy one is Gunnar Stockton, but I know that doesn't really count. I still think he kind of is, but I won't say Gunnar Stockton. I will say I think Colby Young, honestly.
Okay.
Because I mean, we all know what happened with Colby Young's legal situation and everything, but in the 5 games or so that he played last year, he really did look like a legit, outside big body X receiver who can, win jump balls and win one-on-ones and things like that.
That Javon Wims role.
Yeah, exactly. And once you saw him get suspended and he didn't play for the rest of the year, like Georgia didn't have that in their offense at all. The other guy that was supposed to do that for them was Ra Thomas, who also got arrested and kicked off the team. So that was a huge loss for them, was just not having anyone on the boundary that they can kind of just trust to throw the ball up to and make a play. Every guy they had was, a speedster or a route technician or whatever, and none of them could catch the ball. So I think Colby Young returning just adds a player to a type of player to Georgia's offense that they just didn't really have last year. So he could be pretty huge for them because you could kind of see, I mean, like he was really starting to build a rapport with Carson Beck.
Yeah.
Before everything went down the way it did last year.
Had a 47 catch season at Miami in 2023. So I'll have to go to the judges, see if we can count that as a breakout player. I don't know, but no, he had 11 for 149 and 2 touchdowns last year in 5 games. Yeah, and we've talked about before, like that interception Beck threw on that final drive in the end zone. Like he was going to Colby Young in the end zone in a massive situation, right? It was like 30 seconds left in that game or whatever it was. So I think Colby Young should definitely be one of the go-to guys in this offense this year. Maybe this is maybe I feel like he's contributed. I still can't think he's broken out yet, but obviously like maybe a Jaden Riddell or something would be a better breakout candidate. Someone who like we legit have not seen play yet. But I really think Lawson Lucky is like a legit like receiving threat. Like Oscar Delp feels like just your kind of typical like solid tight end. And I don't not to disrespect Oscar Delp. No. Lawson Lucky seems like he moves like a receiver. Like he seems like a legit receiving weapon, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him. Maybe he doesn't lead the team in like catches or yards or anything, but he's up there in touchdowns or something, or he's up there in yards. Like maybe he's averaging 15 yards a catch or something. I think he averaged something like that. 14 and a half last year. So I don't know. Lawson Lucky, I think there's a lot more left on the bone with Lawson Lucky. I think we could see a bigger year from him.
I agree. I think his best Georgia season is definitely ahead of him for sure. Honestly, Oscar Delp, is definitely more of like your classic inline tight end.
Yeah.
But I feel like he's probably gonna have more touchdowns than Lawson Lucky just because he always seems to get the ball in those goal line red zone situations. I mean, he had like 4 touchdowns in the last few games of last year, and they were all from like the 5 because he was just vulturing touchdowns left and right. So, but yeah, I absolutely think Lawson Lucky could be one of the premier receiving threats on the team. It's always tough. Like these guys that are in the wake of Brock Bowers are just gonna always have insane expectations for what they can be as a tight end. But Lucky, I think, is definitely the best receiving option they've had at tight end since Brock Bowers. I know they've only had a couple.
Yeah, it's a short
And I know
list.
and I know that sounds like some insane comparison, but it's like, yeah, I mean, he can definitely really emerge. He's always been a guy who like goes crazy in camp and has great camp reviews and everything. And like this year, he's actually going to be. I feel like he's going to be on the field a lot. You know, Georgia Delp, I guess, would definitely be like their tight end 1, but they run so many 2 tight end sets anyway that like their 2 tight ends are going to be him and Lucky again. So.
Yeah, exactly. And notice the 2 words I didn't say when talking about Lawson Lucky were Brock and Bowers. I'll just leave that alone. But I think he could be a really good receiving threat. And then I feel the need to bring up the last one because my buddy Chase Thomas on the Chase Thomas podcast, a big Tennessee fan, we were talking about Roderick Robinson and like what Georgia, if Georgia needs Roderick Robinson. My thought was like he's definitely a candidate to break out, and I want him to break out, but he feels more like what I was saying with Jordan Hall. Like once guys are injured like multiple times, it's like, yeah, I think he looks the part. Like I get real excited when I see Roderick Robinson. He's absolutely shredded, and we've seen a little bit what he can do. I mean, I think he's set records. I think in California high school rushing. Like was it a single season record or something? I think he set his senior year. So obviously this dude can ball. I just maybe the injuries are making me timid about my expectations of Roderick Robinson. But I think he's definitely a candidate. I don't know that Georgia even needs Roderick Robinson to have a really good offense this year. He feels like he'd be like more of a cherry on top. Like wow, we have 3 running backs this good. Like I feel like with just Frazier and Josh McCray, Georgia could have kind of what it needs in the backfield, and Cash Jones, his experience as well. Don't want to forget him.
Yeah, I think Georgia wouldn't have gone out to get Josh McCray if they felt like they could rely on Roderick Robinson to be like that power back, because they're built basically the same. They're very similar types of runners and very similar types of players, and I feel like Georgia knew that like you needed to have that power back element in your offense, and they had a guy who, on their team for a couple of years, highly recruited kid who is built to carry that workload. And I think they just looked at him and they said, it's unfortunate, but this guy's just always injured, and we can't rely on him to be like that one guy that we have going in the season. So I don't know
that guy being Branson Robinson.
No, Roger Robinson. Like that move to get Josh McCray, I think, because they went out and got McCray. Like they already knew Branson was in the portal. I think they would have been fine to sit there and just let Roderick take over that role if they felt comfortable with it. But I think the injury is what made them go out and get McCray.
Yeah, because I feel like I almost feel the exact same way about Roderick Robinson and Branson Robinson. He's 1 year older, right? Branson was the 2022 class. So I kind of feel like if Roderick Robinson has a 2024 Branson Robinson season, he's probably in the portal next year, So I will say, I think they might be same height and weight. I would be surprised if Josh McCray is built like Roderick Robinson. This dude is huge, honestly. I've just seen the pictures come out of practice, but
he is insane.
No disrespect to Josh McCray. They're both he seems a little more bowling ball-ish. But yeah, definitely that power back role, both about 6 feet, 240. So hey, hopefully we get all 3 of them. It's the SEC. Injuries are always going to happen, especially at the running back position. Maybe Chauncey Bowens is a guy who steps up. Maybe Bo Walker, the true freshman, steps up. But it'd be nice if Roderick Robinson were to stay healthy and be Georgia's third leading rusher with like 400 or 500 yards or something this year.
Yeah, that would be a crazy development. If Roderick Robinson ends up being a valuable part of the backfield, I'd be very pleasantly surprised. I'm kind of already writing him off. I just feel like when a running back deals with chronic injuries like this in college at the college level, it's just like a death sentence so many times. But maybe not. Maybe Roderick Robinson is just a different beast, and he overcomes all of this. That would certainly be awesome.
Not to put you on the spot, but do you know what his injuries are?
He had like a really weird toe thing for a long time. Like they kept saying last year that like he wasn't playing because he had like turf toe, but like it wasn't turf toe. I don't think. Like it had to have been something else because turf toe is like a week to week thing, and I think he had an ankle at one point that like he's had a bunch of foot stuff primarily.
So, yeah, you're right.
I had a class with him last fall, and every day I would like check to see if he was still in a boot, and he was in a boot like every day.
That's funny. So it says he missed the 11 games 2024 due to a toe injury. He underwent surgery on a broken ankle at some point. Was that this spring? So this spring he missed so he missed spring with an ankle. So I don't know. It's hard for me he's looked really good at times when he's been healthy, but it's hard for me to put too much in him. But if there was a candidate in that running room to break out, I think he could be a candidate.
Yeah. And I think absolutely. I mean, he has all the talent. It's just injury luck has just killed him, man.
Yeah, and Gunnar Stockton, obviously, like you said, that's the easy one.
Yeah.
He's going to be the starting quarterback. He's going to start more than
Most
one game this year. Knock on wood, assuming all things go well.
Games.
Hopefully it's not like that Aaron Rodgers that
oh my god, dude,
that prop bet. What was like not DraftKings, Prize Picks.
Yeah, it was like
over under 0.
over 1 yard.
And he gets hurt and it's gone. But yeah, so those are the breakout candidates we see for the 2025